Okay, so today I want to talk about two E-Ink displays called the reTerminal E series, like E stands for the E-Ink from Seed Studio. And they look very similar, they have the same size and even the same resolution, but the difference is in the colors. Once I flip this display, you will see that the content is green because this E-Ink display supports colors, I mean not just green but more colors than that. But before actually doing anything with this display, let me put this aside and take a look also at the second display. And I keep saying display, but obviously this is more than just a display, it's a complete product with everything that you might need. And you probably already see it behind this protective cover. This second display is a monochrome display. And same as with the green display, I think that it can actually show more than just black and white colors. It should be able to show also 4 shades of gray. We will see if we can show those additional colors later in the video. For now, let's take a look at the back side of the display. Actually, on the top we have 3 buttons. The green is for refreshing the display. On the side we have some exposed GPIO pins. Yeah, please ignore those scratches. And then on the other side we have the micro SD card slot, the power button and the USB connection. And I believe 2 LEDs, one for charging and one for power on. Inside the box you will also get the charging cable with this angled connector and also a 3D printed stand, but I will not use it for now because I want my displays to be laying flat on the table. So let's move on and open the tool which should be used to program those displays, and that tool is called the SenseCraft HMI. This is a tool running in the browser, and the documentation says that the first thing that we want to do is to update the firmware of those displays by going into the workspace, then clicking the device flasher button and selecting our device, and I will start with this black and white, which is this E1001, and then selecting the latest firmware, which I guess is this 105. Then for the one and only time we need to connect this device to our PC using the USB cable and turn on the device. And of course click the flash button. It will ask us what serial port we want to use, and since those are not named, I will go with the highest one. Hopefully that's the E-Ink display. Then of course click the connect button. And it seems like that something is happening, there is some message, and yeah, now we can see some progress bar. And I guess this will take a minute or two, so let's just fast forward in time. And now the latest firmware should be flashed to the device. From now on, we don't have to have the device connected to the PC using the USB cable because we will be communicating wirelessly, but we need to set up the wireless connection, the Wi-Fi connection first. You can see that upon flashing the latest firmware, the content on the display looks slightly different, but it shows very similar steps saying that we need to connect to the Wi-Fi of this device first. And of course we need to make sure that this device is still on, that's the green light. So let me connect to that device using my phone. And upon connecting to the Wi-Fi of this device and opening the address 192.168.4.1, I can see the list of all the nearby Wi-Fi networks. So let me just select the one to which I want to connect. And of course enter the password. And it looks like that everything is configured as it should be. So we can disconnect from the Wi-Fi network now. I mean disconnect the phone from the E-Ink device. And it looks like that the E-Ink display is updating the content and it's showing some pair code. And I'm sure that this will be important in the SenseCraft application, so let's open it again. And in here click the add device button and set any name. And of course the very same pair code that's being shown on the display. And if everything goes smoothly, we should now be connected to the display. I mean the thumbnail says offline and 0% battery, but I can see that the display is updating. It's actually showing the very same image as on the thumbnail, so I think that we are now connected. So let's go back into the SenseCraft HMI application and try to create some screens. Actually, because I was recording this video for quite so long, there has been another firmware update being the 1.0.6, so I have flashed this firmware update as well. So let's move on, let's click on the display and everything is empty, so we want to create a new page, add a new page by clicking this new button. And let's start very simple and maybe just add one image by clicking this image gallery. And let's upload some random image by clicking the select image files. And let's select, for example, this thumbnail for the Dasai Moshi project. And then click the upload file. And you can see that the aspect ratio is leaving the top and bottom parts of the design empty. So I think we can click this button and that will open the edit image pane. And we can just say we want to fill it vertically and maybe then move it like so and click the apply edits. And even when this display is only black and white, we can still see the color image. So I think that if we want to see how it will look on the display, we need to click the preview button. And that will show us the black and white preview. So now we can click the deploy button to actually upload this to the display to the device. And that was pretty quick, so let's take a look at the display itself. And we do see the very same image in here as well. Now from far away it looks kind of nice, but I don't think that there are actually any grayscale pixels. I think that everything is just black or white and nothing in between. And I'm also sure that with 2 more colors, with having 4 colors in total, it might look much better, but I don't know how to do it yet, so let's just move on to the next step. And that will be, of course, showing something dynamic. So let's click the new button to add one more page. And we have a few templates to choose from. And I kind of like the YouTube channel because that should show us the number of subscribers. The problem is that even if I've put the YouTube API key, it's just not working. If I click the validate channel, it says that it's not working. And if I put my handle, which is this one, it's not working either. So it's saying that handle was not found, which is kind of strange. So instead of doing it this way, let's show the web page itself by clicking the web content. And let's put the link to my YouTube channel and click the create page button. And we don't see much in here, but I think that we can click the preview button and that should show us the web page, which is working only partially. And again, there is nothing in here. So let's try to click the deploy button to upload it to the display to see what happens. And there is a message saying that the device is currently in the sleep mode, which means that we need to wait for the next update, which will happen in roughly 5 minutes or so. Or we can also click the green button on the display itself to refresh the content. And by refreshing the screen, we will also wake up the terminal. You can see that now it's online, which means that now it's updating, it's uploading the new version. Now on the display, we still see the very same image of the Dasai Moshi thumbnail. That's because this is still the first page. But on the top of the device, we have 2 white buttons for jumping between pages. So I think that when I click this right button to jump to the next page, it will play a beep sound and the display will update. And of course, it will take a while. But after the updating is done, we do see the YouTube web page. With that said, it's unfortunately not possible to see the number of subscribers, so let's move on for the next content. And just so we don't have to switch pages all the time, let's just delete those 2 pages. So let's just delete this one as well as the image and create a new page. And we have tried the image, we have tried the web content. We know that the YouTube channel is not working properly. So let's, for example, try the GitHub profile page. And let's fill my username for GitHub. And in order to use that, we need to create a personal token, which is on this page. So inside the GitHub, we need to generate a new token. I guess we will go with the classic one. And of course, I need to enter my password one more time. And this will be for the reTerminal. That's just a name. And I'm really not sure what I need to check in here. So let's, for example, start with just this repo check. So we should access all the needed information and then click the generate token button. And this will give us this very secret string which you shouldn't share with anyone else, especially on the internet. And then use that in here. So this is my token and somehow the username was changed to the Seed Studio. So let's just change it back to my username. And then I guess we will click this button. Okay, that was probably not needed. So click the preview button. And it shows the number of followers and some repos. So let's just click the apply to canvas. And of course I want a different logo to be displayed. So let's just click the upload button. And let's use this image instead and maybe scale it down like so. And then let's try to upload it to the display by clicking the deploy button. And it seems like that our display was online, so it was immediately uploaded. And we see the very same content on the reTerminal. So getting the data from GitHub seems to be working, unlike getting data from YouTube, which is great. So let's see what else we can show on this display. Again, to make things simpler, let's get rid of this page. And let's click the new button one more time. And I guess what we haven't tried yet is the weather forecast. And this might actually be a very nice use case for this display because you don't have to update the weather forecast very often. So you can just keep it sitting on your desk and just see the weather. So let's just change the city name. And I'm currently in Prague. And click the search button. Seems like that the city was found. So click the preview button. And we have quite a lot of data in here. So click the apply to canvas button. And then if we want, we can make some adjustments. Of course, this is not New York, this is Prague, so we have to change this one. This is not dynamic, this is just a static text. But for example, this cloudy is a dynamic text, so you can see I can select what I want to display. So for today, I want to display the weather. I can also display the date, which I guess is this readout. So this is the current date. And then it's showing the minimum and the maximum temperature for today, tomorrow, and so on and so on. There is also this icon, which I believe is dynamic as well, so it's showing the today weather as the icon, unlike this one, which I guess this is just a static image. And this is probably the dynamic icon as well, and all those are dynamic values as well. So if we want, we can move stuff around and change the font face or font size, make it bold or aligned to the different position, and do some basic changes. And of course, for temperatures, we can choose between degrees Celsius or degrees Fahrenheit. I guess it's changing everything, so every readout will be either in degrees Celsius or degrees Fahrenheit. So with the screen like this, let's deploy it to the display, let's upload it to the display. And again, it's currently in the sleep mode, so let me just refresh the screen. That will wake up the device. And we now see a weather forecast for the next few days. And it's of course very nice that we didn't have to spend any time to put this screen together. So let's again move on and see what else we can show on the display. In the SenseCrest application, let's delete the current page, the weather page, and add a new one. And I think that the one that we haven't used yet is the UI design, which should allow us to create our own designs. And we have a few components to choose from. We can draw rectangles, we can draw circles, even things like triangles or maybe just some freeform drawing. But I don't think I will use any of those. However, what we can also add is the current time, and that is kind of nice, but it's not updating that fast, so maybe not showing seconds might be a good idea, and making it of course much bigger than this. Maybe something like that. And then we can change a different font, but unfortunately we only have 4 font settings, so I will go with the Roboto font and making it bold. And we can also add the current date by clicking the date button, so again make it slightly bigger than this. And maybe change the date format to a different one, for example maybe that one. And of course put it on one line, like so. Then as for the other components, we have a QR code, which is kind of nice, because you can just use it to just point to anything. So if you click the QR code, instead of the hello world, I can go to my YouTube web page, just like so. And I think that I can make it even smaller, and it should still be recognizable. If we want, we can also add the barcode, but I don't have any kind of barcode reader, so I'll not do that. And then for the device section, the reTerminal device actually measures the temperature and the humidity, and you can also get the battery status. So if you click the battery, you will get the percentage of the battery. Temperature, you can either get the temperature in the degrees Celsius or degrees Fahrenheit. And then the humidity, I guess, will be in a percentage. So we can get all of those free and maybe change the font to be also Roboto, being the bold one, but maybe slightly smaller, like 18 points or so. And maybe align it to the right side. And move it around like so. And then maybe edit a static text, because this should be percentage. So just type in percentage. And again, this should be Roboto in the size of 18, being bold. And then copy paste it, and this should be degrees Celsius. And the last one is also in percentage. So let's move this around like so, and we have a nice status information of the display itself. We can see how this will look like on the device anytime by clicking the preview button that will show it only in the black and white. And of course we can upload it to the display by clicking the deploy to device button. as most of the time the device is in the sleep mode, but we can update the display. That will wake up the device and it will update itself. And I like how this looks like, but it's perhaps way too simple. Maybe we can spice it up a little bit by adding some icons next to those readouts and perhaps maybe some background image. Let's start by adding those icons, so click the image button to add the image, and we can either upload our own icons or we can just click this icons button, and there should be a few that we can use, for example this for like a barrier indicator, so let me just only make it smaller like so, and then another one and it will be for the temperature, so let's find the temperature icon, and maybe it should be something more like that. And finally one more for the humidity, and for that I guess we can use this raindrop icon like so, and we can use the zoom feature to zoom in a little bit, so we can move stuff around with a better precision. And for the humidity maybe this icon will work better, so perhaps something like this could work. And then for the background image, let's click the image button one more time, and just because this is the e-ink image, I found the image of the ink drop, which looks something like this. And let's move it to fill the entire screen and put it all the way to the back. And just because the center of the ink drop is pure black, we don't see the time and the date, but we can select both of those labels and then change the label color to be white. And then maybe play with the size a little bit, so maybe make it slightly smaller, just so it's not going outside of the drop that much. And let's maybe move this one more to the top like so. And I guess this could be our final design. So again we can click the preview button to see how it will look like on the display with just black and white colors. And then we can click the deploy button to upload this to the display to the device. And that background image together with those icons really makes a big difference. I mean, we are still only showing black and white colors, but it kind of looks interesting now. There is just one small problem with displaying clock, with displaying time on this reTerminal device, because if we go back into the SenseCraft HMI application, we can set how often we want to update the display, but unfortunately 5 minutes is the minimum time. I mean, we can go up, but we cannot go down. So even when we have a clock on the display, it's not so precise because it will be updated only once in 5 minutes. But I think that we can stop here and call it a day and leave the rest of the stuff for the next video. I mean, obviously I haven't touched the color display and I haven't found a way how to display grayscale on this black and white display. And I haven't even touched the possibility of using the TRMNL, the terminal application or terminal system on this display. That's by the way this one, where you have a lot of different applications to choose from, but again that will be something for the next time. Again for today I'm left with a nice looking but not so precise clock, so let's see if I can make it better the next time. And I'm sure it will be possible because while the SenseCraft HMI application is still in the very early stage, it seems like that the Seed Studio is constantly updating this tool and pushing new versions out, and I've even noticed that during recording this video they updated this tool multiple times, so I really look forward to the next version with maybe more features and more functionality. So that's it for today, thank you very much for watching and I hope to see you soon, thanks and bye.